Yo soy mexicano. Yo llegué primero ahí de mi familia. De ahí se vinieron 6 hermanos. La mayor gente que hay son mexicanos, fuera de un solo pueblo.
¿De un solo pueblo? 2,000 square feet, 4-bed, 2-bath for $221.
Everybody pretty much gets along. Small community.
Another massive, dilapidated home.
You just gotta find things to do, like small things, driving around, listening to music.
It's barbacoa style hot pocket. Mucha diversidad.
Ajá, hay mucha diversidad ya.
Los republicanos ya están doblando la mano.
Ajá.
Ya están trabajando.
Guys, this is, I think, the most interesting restaurant I've ever seen. Look at the size of these conchas. Iowa, a state almost right in the center of America, known for its vast cornfields and Caitlin Clark. Something Iowa is not known for is diversity. It's one of the whitest states in America. But what if I told you that scattered across this rural white state are multiple small towns whose populations consist mostly of immigrants? This is intriguing, because immigrants typically settle in large urban centers where work is plentiful and diversity is visible. So what are they doing in rural Iowa? To find out, I visited 5 of these immigrant towns with my girlfriend Rosie. She and I are both children of immigrants, born and raised in Northern California. We flew to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, rented a truck, and hit the road. Our goal was to answer 2 questions. Why do these immigrant towns exist? And what is it like to live in one? What I ended up finding is that immigration is a more complex issue than what I had imagined. Rosie and I began our journey on Easter Sunday. We traveled to the town of West Liberty, not knowing what to expect. All I knew was the town has about 4,000 inhabitants, nearly 60% of whom are Hispanic. And unsurprisingly, our first turn into town showed the presence of Spanish speakers. As we began walking, our first discoveries in West Liberty were some historic remnants of the old town. Originally Goshen, number 8, Goshen. This school was also known as the Swamp School. It was located on 130th Street near an old swamp just west of the David Johnson farm, built in 1879. We peeked inside the windows of the Swamp School and saw someone sitting inside. We tried knocking, but got no response. It was clear that the town was once a railroad hub. This old train station has been converted into a museum, but unfortunately, it was closed. There was also this old farming equipment, and a few other historical remnants. As we followed the train tracks, we quickly entered a new world. A massive industrial facility rose above the land, sprawling across acres of country. This is an absolutely massive building. This facility is called West Liberty Foods. It's what's known as a meat packing plant, where animals are slaughtered, cut, processed, and packaged. Even on Easter Sunday, work here doesn't stop. And sitting in the facility's shadow, just to its side, is downtown West Liberty. The streets were quiet. The buildings are ancient. Some storefronts were vacant. These little guys were the first to welcome us into town. We noticed that this storefront was an old print shop. It was interesting to see that it's still being maintained. But despite going inside, we couldn't find anyone, other than the cats. It wasn't long until we began to see Mexican tiendas, small convenience stores targeting the Hispanic community. You know the song?
Yeah.
Rosie's feeling at home. Oh yeah, this is a full-on Mexican Hispanic store. Got the pan dulces. The various spices, condiments. Piñatas. Can't go without those.
I literally feel like I transported to Mexico right now.
And as you guys can see, all the signs are Spanish. They got mamey here. Crazy. It's crazy to find this in the middle of Iowa. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo es la vida aquí?
No, calmado.
¿Sí?
Sí. Estoy tranquilo.
Hay mucha gente aquí que trabaja en el...
Pavo.
sí.
Sí. La mayoría del pueblo trabaja.
¿Y paga bien ese trabajo?
Pues no sé porque no he trabajado ahí, pero me imagino que si hay miles de trabajadores ahí metidos.
Ajá. Eso es lo que atrae a la gente de otros países.
Ajá.
Sí. Ok, gracias. Que tenga buen día.
Igual.
Rosie got herself an agua de coco, a sweet drink made with coconut flesh.
It tastes like that.
Yeah, that was good. This is agua de coco that we just got from one of these corner stores, and we're out here in front of another one. About to check this one out.
Also in Spanish, everything.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah. Everything we've been seeing is in Spanish, and of course, in all these Mexican stores, cannot go without the icons. Oh, look at this one. This one's got the La Muerte too. Again, lots of products, very authentic, straight from Mexico. You can see everything in Spanish. Para hacer deliciosos tamales, to make delicious tamales. We got Cuba in the house. Again, La Santísima Muerte. Very interesting. I think this is the first time I see La Santísima Muerte in a US store.
You look like a mom.
¿Usted de dónde viene?
Yo soy mexicano,
¿Mexicano?
soy del estado de Puebla.
De Puebla, ajá. ¿Y qué le trajo a usted?
Yo estuve en Chicago,
Ajá.
de Chicago vine para acá. Lo que me trajo es que llegué a trabajar a la compañía Tyson.
Ajá.
En ese tiempo había puro mexicano trabajando en esta Tyson.
Ajá.
Yo dilaté ahí 10 años trabajando. En ese tiempo lo que se ganaba era, podría decir, mucho con lo que, comparado con lo que se ganaba afuera de la planta.
Ujú.
Entonces vi que lo que se ganaba ahí alcanzaba para vivir más o menos mejor. Y de esa manera me quedé. Yo vivo en Columbus Junction.
Ajá. Para ahí vamos nosotros.
Ajá.
A seguir explorando, sí.
Entonces en ese tiempo la ciudad estaba mucho más cubierta que hoy de puro hispano, pero había más mexicanos y después de otros como Guatemala, Salvador. La mayor gente que hay son mexicanos, haz de cuenta como de fuera de un solo pueblo.
De un solo pueblo. Entonces son muchas familias que se
Muchas
conocen
familias que hay aquí de ese mismo pueblo.
de ese mismo pueblo. Ajá.
De ahí hay de otras, pero es muy poquito. Se llama Allende el pueblo, el estado de Durango. De ellos ya vienen otras familias, pero son 2, 3 familias o a veces depende el número de familias que sea de cierto lugar. Por ejemplo, yo vivo en Columbus Junction. De ahí yo llegué primero ahí de mi familia. De ahí se vinieron 6 hermanos,
Ujú.
también con familias. Entonces, depende que
Entonces así es como surge.
Sí, así surge también
Sí.
aquí.
Y usted dice que en aquellos tiempos se ganaba mucho, entonces ¿ha cambiado?
Ha cambiado.
¿Sí? ¿No se gana
Bueno,
tanto ahora?
Ahora se gana más.
¿Más?
Se gana más
Ajá.
y alcanza para sobrevivir. Te voy a decir que mejor, porque ahora pagan aproximadamente entre 19 y 25 la hora. Y es algo que alcanza a sobrevivir mejor de los años que estamos viviendo.
Ujú.
Porque hay otros lugares donde te pagan 15, 10, varía. Entonces, uno de los lugares paga mejor.
Y adentro de la fábrica hay diferentes sectores, o sea, hay diferentes
Sí.
niveles de trabajo donde se ganan más y menos, me imagino.
Sí, ellos tienen niveles.
Sí.
Nivel 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, hasta 5 grados, se llaman ellos grados,
Ajá.
porque cada uno tiene diferentes sueldos
Sí.
y tiene diferentes tipos de trabajo. A veces el trabajo es más duro que uno de 0 que uno de 5.
Sí, exacto, eso me imagino.
Sí, pero así funciona ahí adentro de la planta.
¿Y es posible subir de niveles?
Es posible, por ejemplo, estás de barrendero, te meten a trabajar en una línea y el tipo de trabajo que te hacen en esa línea es nivel 2
Ujú.
o nivel 3. O si no estás ahí, te llaman a apostar un trabajo, donde tú pones tu nombre que quieres ese trabajo. Depende de la cantidad de personas que apuesten eso.
Sí.
Y el que vean que es más hábil, le dan el trabajo.
Entonces siempre están buscando trabajo.
Sí, ahí adentro siempre está buscando trabajo para ver quién quiere tomar esa posición.
Y uno cuando comienza siempre empieza desde
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 cero.
más abajo, sí.
Sí, a veces no de 0, de grado 1 o grado 2, pero depende tu habilidad para hacer el trabajo. 2, pero ya que vas, te dan un mes o 2 meses para tú agarrar habilidades. Cuando ya lo agarras, no te comienzan a pagar los de grado.
Y es trabajo más físico, ¿no?
No es físico, es
¿No?
habilidad.
Habilidad.
Porque, por ejemplo, yo trabajé en un área donde llegan las piernas de jamón, para que me entiendas.
Ajá.
Y esa pierna, hay un lugar donde le pelan, le quitan todo el cuero. Sale de ahí y ya viene donde le quitan toda la grasa.
Ajá.
Cada uno es diferente grado. Y ahí de que pasa de eso viene una donde le quitan un hueso que va pegado a esta parte. Es otro grado. Y ahí sigue otro donde ya le quita la mitad de lo que es el hueso, de lo que va en medio de la pierna. Y llega otro que le quita ya todo el hueso.
Y es como una fila, es como que
Sí,
no
es
termina.
le llaman línea,
Sí.
porque en esa línea que le estoy hablando hay aproximadamente como 20 personas.
Ajá.
Y en esas 20 personas cada uno tiene diferente trabajo.
Y el horario del trabajo es...
Bueno, el horario del trabajo, por ejemplo, ahí entran a las 6:30 y salen de 8 horas, salen como a las 3 de la tarde.
Ok. ¿Y es así tipo lunes a viernes o se trabajan
De
los...?
lunes a viernes es más común, pero si tienen grandes órdenes y van un poco atrasados, por ejemplo, hacen trabajar a la gente el día sábado.
Nosotros
No salen ahora.
pasamos por ahí y vimos que parecía haber trabajadores. Entonces todavía
Sí.
en días como este, que es un feriado, o sea, Pascua,
Aquí
todavía
hay
se
una planta
trabaja.
que se llama West Liberty Food.
Ajá, esa
Ellos
misma.
procesan carne, le llaman de pavo, quizás tienen otro nombre ustedes.
Sí, el
Entonces,
turkey, me
el
imagino, ¿no?
turkey,
Sí.
correcto. Lo mismo que es el de puerco, es el de turkey. Hay lugares donde van cortando el turkey.
Ya veo. Un gusto.
Bueno, me gusta saludar.
We left the store with a better understanding of how and why these immigrant communities develop. Meatpacking, specifically pork and turkey, is what brings immigrants to live in this part of the country. As we continued exploring West Liberty, we made our way to the residential side of town. Yeah, a lot of really big but really old houses out here. And then we spotted a house for sale.
That's crazy.
Let's look at the details.
1888.
Look at that. 2,000 square feet, 4 bed, 2 bath. For $221. $1,400 a month.
Yeah.
Wow. Something that really strikes me about West Liberty, and this is probably true for a lot of this part of the country, is the contrast in houses. Like, you'll have one house that'll be like a big 3-story house with a nice big backyard and a front lawn, you know, super well maintained, well taken care of. And then the house right next to it will be like, you know, visibly worn, not as well maintained, And you have like this crazy contrast, just like from one house to the next. Those of us who live in the more urban areas, we're not used to seeing that. You know, for us, it's more like by neighborhood, by area. You know, different areas have different like standards, different levels of housing. But here, that type of division doesn't really exist. It's kind of just like up to the individual homeowner or, you know, whoever's occupying that house. And it's very interesting to see. You know, it's even a little bit trippy. West Liberty set the standard for much of what we would see. It's a quiet town, a crossroads between old America and recent immigration. The journey was only beginning. As we said our goodbyes to West Liberty, another immigrant community awaited us. The journey continued 25 miles south of West Liberty. Our next stop was the home of the store owner, a small town called Columbus Junction. As Rosie and I walked through downtown, our first impressions of Columbus Junction were not great. It looked like a few Hispanic tiendas and a lot of abandonment. Wow. We went inside this tienda. It had the same feel as the ones in West Liberty. Most products were authentically Mexican, and everything was well organized. I decided to get myself some snacks. Although everything seemed peaceful, it was hard to ignore the apocalyptic feel of Columbus Junction. But things began to change once we turned this corner. Wow, that's interesting. The city hall and the library and the police station are all in one. There's some cops there. Maybe we can interview them? Hello, officers.
Hey man, what's going on?
How would you guys say life is like out here? Is it generally safe?
Yeah, we try to. We try to keep it as safe as possible. Everybody pretty much gets along. Small community.
Right.
But it's a wonderful place.
It's like a small town. It's only like 1,800
Right.
people, so
Right.
like any other rural Iowa small town.
Yeah. Safe place.
Have you been to the swinging bridge up here?
No, I haven't.
You might want to check it out. It's really nice. Even at night, they have lights as well.
Yeah?
Very pretty.
That's called the Swinging Bridge?
Yeah, it's just right up here.
Alright, you guys have a good one.
Yep, me too.
Alright guys, so Rosie and I are gonna go check out that swinging bridge that the officers told us to check out. So yeah. Alright y'all, here we are. And this looks interesting. Alright, let's go for it. Ooh, this is not gonna be my favorite thing. I am afraid of heights and I get motion sickness pretty easily. I don't want to shake it any harder. Oh, this is scaring me.
I kind of want to run.
Dumb. Y'all, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. I wasn't built for this, y'all. Oh, nah, bro. I'm not gonna walk to the end of this, y'all. There's no way. Cause bro, then if I go to the end, I have to go all the way back too. I don't want to do this twice. All right, Rosie she's the brave one. She's doing it for me, y'all. Ah! Y'all, I'm holding on, bro. Holding on for my life. The views up here are pretty nice though, I'm not gonna lie. That's how far I got, y'all. That is how far I got. Yay!
There's like a little trail. It kind of like goes down. And then I saw part of it is like down there too. Like, you see how you could go all the way down?
Right, I can see that there's a little bridge. I'm trying to get that on the camera. Although I couldn't overcome my fear of heights, the swinging bridge was a fun way to conclude our time at Columbus Junction. The last things I want to show from Columbus Junction are these murals near downtown. Not only do they highlight the town's diversity, they also mark the presence of LULAC, an organization that works to ensure safe working environments for meat packers and immigrant workers across the country. If you're interested in learning about their work, check out their website at lulac.org. Columbus Junction is proof that looks don't mean everything. What looks like a semi-apocalyptic town is actually a safe and quiet town with a cool bridge you can visit. In the beginning, I wondered why these immigrant communities exist. The answer had become clear. But why do meatpacking plants hire so many immigrants? Between the 1970s and 1990s, food manufacturing companies made big changes to cut spending. First, they moved their facilities from urban centers to rural towns so they could be closer to the feeding lots. But this created a problem. The rural towns didn't have enough workers, and unionized workers from cities were unwilling to take the jobs at the prevailing wages. This meant that companies had to find their workers elsewhere. Meatpacking jobs are statistically some of the most dangerous jobs in America, with some of the highest rates of severe injury. Workers are also exposed to harmful chemicals, and due to limited health precautions, illnesses spread quickly. In 2020, there were numerous COVID-19 outbreaks throughout facilities across the country, and in March of 2026, immigrant workers went on strike outside a meatpacking plant in Colorado, citing unsafe working conditions and poor pay. It saddened me to realize that some of the country's bravest and most essential workers could be getting exploited, simply because large companies want to save money. But I didn't want to focus only on the negative. One question remained without a clear answer. What is life like in these towns? As we drove for hours across all of Iowa, I wanted to capture the essence of the towns. I wanted to see what they have to offer beyond meatpacking. On the surface, the town of Denison followed the same pattern as the previous towns. Quiet streets, old buildings, Hispanic presence. But being a bigger town than the previous two, Denison had some surprises in store for us. Just about entering downtown, and here we've got a home that really caught our attention driving up here. Look at the size of this one. Not just the size, but look at the shape it's in. It continues over here. This is a massive property.
The side one, there's a light on and there's trash outside.
That's true. This part right here could be occupied, but this big part really doesn't seem like it is. So you can see the wear on these columns right here. There is a grill right there that doesn't look too old. Look at the columns over here on this side. Paint wearing off. Really old, massive home. Another massive, dilapidated home. This one, however, looks like could potentially be undergoing renovations. And then there's another one, just one house down. Looks like it's in a similar shape. That one is definitely not being used at the moment. Wow. There's a trash can at the door for some reason. All these dilapidated Victorian homes make it seem as if the town's heyday was long past. Makes me wonder if once upon a time this was a great place for the very opulent and the very powerful to live in. As of today, it very much doesn't seem that way. Found this cool looking looks like it used to be a nice fountain. So Rosie and I agree that Denison feels a lot more explorable than the other places we visited. Probably just due to it being a bigger town. But yeah, it really feels like we're actually exploring out here, and like there's actually other people out here with us. It doesn't feel as quiet as the other places.
If anyone knows the history behind these abandoned houses, let me know in the comments. Unlike the previous towns, Denison is the administrative center of its county, so it has a large and well-preserved courthouse, which also has a memorial, honoring the Iowans who fought in the Civil War. There were also these handprint memorials all along the downtown sidewalks.
¿Sabe el significado de esos?
No sé exactamente, no sé si esto lo pusieron ahora de cuando las Torres Gemelas.
Ah.
A lo mejor es tal vez eso.
Then this happened.
Hi.
You guys want a t-shirt? Free t-shirt.
Sure,
Come on in.
yeah.
Come on in.
What's the reason for giving them away?
So my company, or not my company, the company I work for, that's Thrivent. And so
Yeah.
we do like investments, life insurance. That's pretty much what I do. I help people with saving for retirement and insurance. We don't pay taxes to the government, our company. So we have to give that money back into the community. And one of those ways is doing Thrive in Action teams. And that's when a client of mine can get a $250 gift card to use for a greater good in the community. When they apply for those, they get free t-shirts. And so they always bring them in here and I give them out.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, but I better get this, so.
All right, I'll let you do that. Thank you.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Take care.
You too.
The t-shirts we got were super comfy, and you'll see us wearing them later in the video, so big shout out to Thrivent. As we got hungry, the time had come for us to finally try the food in one of these towns, so we went to this restaurant called La Cantina.
All right, we're at La Cantina here in downtown Denison. They've got lots of, got Frida Kahlo, of course. This is a big place. Very nice art all over, colors. Definitely passes the vibe check.
We would go, they would have these, and my mom would put it on everything. But I think the most popular might be on top of the inside of the coconut. You know the white part that's like it gets cut up. That's her. This and coconut.
What's that called?
Buffalo.
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 Interesting.
It's very popular over there. Never seen that one.
Over there as in Mexico?
Yeah. Mexico.
All right, so here's our food. Rosie, what'd you get?
I have chicken and beef chimichangas.
And that's accurate?
Yes, they got that right.
All right, because I ordered the burrito with the rice and beans, but this 100% looks like an enchilada, not a burrito. So I don't know if, I think they got the order mixed up, but that's all right. I'm gonna have this enchilada for today's lunch. So Rosie also got this cantarito.
There's Don Julio tequila, Sprite, and orange juice. At least that's how we make them. Yeah, this is definitely orange juice. It has a tequila and it might have Sprite. But
Sprite? Is that normally?
yeah, that's how we make them.
Okay,
But maybe
interesting.
it's like club soda or something else.
Going in on the cantarito. That's good. That is good. I definitely taste all the ingredients you just mentioned. Tequila is not too strong at all. It's not overwhelming. I'm not the biggest fan of tequila, but this I could definitely enjoy. All right. I'd say it was pretty good. What would you say?
It was good. I liked it a lot.
It was good. It was actually better than I expected, to be honest. I like their beef. Their beef was pretty well seasoned. Would you say? Yeah. So yeah, La Cantina, I think, passes all the checks for us. Pretty good Mexican food out here in Denison, Iowa. You guys, it is so cold out here. My hands and my lips are getting super dry. So Rosie also told me she had an interesting experience in the bathroom at La Cantina.
Yes, so when I went into the bathroom, I saw all this. There's cough drops, hair ties, hair products, and then there's some deodorant, wipes, pads, stuff for, tampons. And I was really surprised to see this because everything was still there. It wasn't trashed. It wasn't like all empty. And I feel like anywhere else it would have been. So that, to me, that spoke to what kind of town this is.
Yeah.
And then I also saw this painting. It's so funny.
In what other women's bathroom would you see all this?
I don't know.
And you smell like coconuts now.
I know. I put some in my hair. I put some hair product in my hair.
Some of the ones they had.
Yeah. But that's crazy. And then the little sign right here, I think it said, please only use what you need. Thanks.
Pretty interesting.
I've never ever seen that.
You just gotta find things to do, like small things. Like I like sports.
Yeah.
So I like to go to the gym and be with my friends at the gym and stuff like that, or just
Right.
to school and stuff like that.
Right, because you're a young guy, right? Like, what is there to do out here for young people?
Yeah, just be with your friends, honestly.
Any bars?
You know? Huh?
Bars?
No, no.
No bars?
No.
Where do people here go for like that kind of thing?
Oh, for bars here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be like a pub over there downtown here. There's probably like 3-4 that I know of. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, about where the bars are, but I know there is some down the street right here. And
Are they like American bars, Mexican bars?
They're mostly American, I'd say.
Yeah?
Yeah, here mostly American bars. And then for food, there is like a couple of Mexican places here in town.
Yeah, we just came from one. We just came from La Cantina.
Yeah, that was
pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, just fast food.
Yeah,
That's
right.
all. Just driving around, listening to music. That's what I'd be doing. Yeah, simple stuff.
You Mexican?
Me? No, I'm from Guatemala.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm from Guatemala.
Were you born here?
I wasn't. No.
No?
I came here when I was around 6 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you came up with your family?
Huh?
You came up with your family?
Yeah.
You know what brought them?
Just work, honestly.
Work?
Work, money.
Yeah. How's that out here? Is it good?
It's pretty good. We're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing pretty good. I'd say.
Right out here, right? Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Of course, a good one.
Appreciate you, man.
What's your name?
Have a good one, Luis. What's
Luis?
your name?
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Hi, nice to meet you, Luis.
Spanish?
Yeah.
We know Spanish. I just like English more.
Yeah. Oh, you like it more?
Yeah, I like
Okay,
it more.
good. I was wondering. I should have spoken Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can speak both of them.
All right. Well, appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
As the day neared its end, we realized we needed some quick groceries. So we hit up Hy-Vee, a true staple of Iowa. There are 300 Hy-Vee stores in America. All of them are in the Midwest, and half of them are in Iowa. Hy-Vee plays an essential role in many Iowa small towns.
They got the Madison beer Cheetos here. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna get this barbacoa style hot pocket for my possible dinner here. I have never seen anything like this. We're gonna try it out. Wait. No. Incredible products here. Alright, we got our little Hy-Vee groceries, and I think that about wraps it up for our day here in Denison.
Our day in Denison did not disappoint. We saw a lot more people than in the previous towns, as well as fewer vacant storefronts. The vacancy we did see was in these massive abandoned houses. As we left Denison, we prepared to visit one of the largest lakes in Iowa.
it to Storm Lake, Iowa, and it is extremely cold. I think it's in the 30s right now, and it's very windy, as you can tell by the waves. Yeah, I think we're not going to stick around here too much longer.
Despite the harsh weather, we couldn't help but approach the shores of Storm Lake, which was much more impressive than what I had anticipated. We stopped at this lakeside park to begin our exploration, and as I wandered, I was drawn to the design of this structure.
I wonder if the design is made to protect against the wind or something. Ooh, I think it does. It felt instantly nicer once I got in here. A little playground for the children over here. Lots of big trees out here. I imagine that during the summer this place must be really nice.
With my barbacoa hot pocket being kept frozen, we made our way into town.
You want to check out this store? Quince dresses and stuff.
Oh, these are the like Colombian jeans or something, I think. Because look at how they go like really high. That's supposed to help with like tummy control and all of that. And then the no pockets in the butt. I feel like these are pretty popular in Mexico because girls like to make their butt look big. And
Yeah.
these are supposed to.
Yeah, I know. I've seen these.
They look kind of. I used to wear these, but look at this 4 buttons. Look at the buttons.
I had always seen these on women, but I never knew what they looked like in the stores. It's the first time I see them. Look at these for the babies. What would these be for? Church?
Those are for baptisms.
Uh-huh.
And first communion.
Cool. You liking these high heels? I can get you those. Pretty nice.
The store had an impressive variety of products. A large portion of them were vaquero-style fashion, clothes that emulate the look of old-school ranchers and cowboys.
These are all square toes. Look, some people say that the pointy toes look better than the squared. No way, right?
I think it depends. I think it depends on the occasion.
I love the square.
How much do you think these are for?
I don't know.
Could ask. Ooh, look at this crocodile one.
This style is used often by Mexicans and Mexican Americans, especially at local music festivals called bailes, where dances and customs from rural Mexico are passed down and celebrated.
What is that? Is that a bug? It's a very bedazzled bug.
This is real, huh? Because look at this.
Yeah. Look at this.
Is this what I think it is? Oh my god.
Oh, I've seen those.
Is this for men or women? This is for both? I think it doesn't matter.
Pues dicen que el rosita es para mujer y la miel color gold y el negro para hombre.
Oh, okay.
¿Y este sí funciona?
Pues la verdad, no sé si funciona, amigo. Es la popularidad que hay. Deja prender la máquina, que eres mi primer cliente hoy, amiga.
¿Es así normalmente?
No, hoy es un día un poco calmado porque es martes, pero lo que viene siendo viernes, sábado, domingo,
Ajá.
son días muy circulares de la gente.
Ajá.
El jueves también.
¿Y en esos días vienen muchos turistas?
Muchos de aquí del pueblo, muchos de los pueblitos de alrededor, a hacer sus compras, sí.
Aquí el trabajo mayor es son los meatpacking.
Los Tyson.
Sí, exactamente.
Sí,
¿Hay muchas mujeres que trabajan allá?
Sí, hay muchas mujeres que trabajan
¿Sí?
en Tyson, claro que sí.
¿Usted conoce a personas que trabajan por ahí?
Sí, claro que sí.
Sí, es buen trabajo. ¿Qué dicen ellos?
Pues dicen que es buen trabajo, que tiene buenos beneficios.
Ajá. ¿Y paga bien, me
Y
imagino?
paga bien, claro que sí.
Ajá.
Es uno de los trabajos mejor pagados aquí.
¿Y aquí la mayoría de la población son mexicanos o hay también de otras partes, de otros países?
No, hay mucho cubano, mexicano,
Cubanos, ¿en serio?
centroamericano,
Huh.
puertorriqueño,
Huh.
mucho de Pompeya.
Pompeya.
Pompeya es una isla, no son hawaianos, son de Pompeya, dicen ellos. De
Ah,
donde
una
están las
isla.
11 islas pequeñas.
Sí.
También
Ah.
aquí hay bastantes de ellos.
Es mucha diversidad ahí.
Ajá, hay mucha diversidad, ya ves.
Qué bueno.
Lao, de África, de todos lados.
Sí. Hemos visto mucha diversidad en estos pueblos. Sí, me ha sorprendido un poquito el pueblo.
Sí, está muy bonito.
Sí.
Hay que invitar a toda la gente que venga a visitarnos.
Ajá.
Aquí a Storm Lake.
Aquí en Storm Lake, aquí mismo.
Sí, 20 días.
Bueno, un gusto. Gracias. Gracias por su tiempo.
Igualmente.
Tengan buen día. Here's the security in Storm Lake. Oh, they're a chunkster. You're a chunky doggo, aren't you? You're a chunkster. Yes, you are. Oh yeah, we got all the flags right here. It's like the woman very politely told us. We got people from all over Latin America. And not only Latin America, but like she said, various parts of the world.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, this is the Pompeii the lady was telling us about. I had never heard about it either.
Like the woman had informed us, Pompeii is an island in the Pacific Ocean. It has a population of about 37,000, and it forms part of the federal states of Micronesia. Where else could you possibly find this community? As we kept walking through downtown, we spotted this Buckle, the first clothing chain to appear in our journey. They also sell vaquero-style fashion, pandering largely to Mexican Americans. As our hunger kicked in, we decided to have lunch at La Juanita, a restaurant that had been recommended to us by various people.
All right. Here is our lunch. I got the 3 tacos, rice and beans. Rosie got the 3 sopes. And this place is, as usual here in Iowa, it is massive. It doesn't look like it from the outside, but once you come in, these places are usually pretty massive. That looks like the lake and the town. And then on our side, we've got a mural of the countryside with the horses, tractors, and the vaquero right there. And then they got some deer heads right there. And there's a downstairs too. I got myself an horchata here. Yeah, usually for me, this determines the quality of a Mexican place, how good their horchata is. So let me go in on this. That's good. It's really cold. This is a massive cup they gave me, and I think it's filled with ice. Pretty solid horchata. So I'm expecting the food to be pretty good then. Let me dig in and update you guys a little later.
The food was pretty good. It tasted authentic, but it wasn't mind-blowing. However, our minds would be blown by what we were about to see.
Una oficina ya sí.
Ajá.
Ahí lo conocí yo, ya después ya cuando se religió, ya fue cuando me tomé la foto con él.
Ajá. ¿Y aquí vienen muchos políticos?
Nunca hace...
Nomás los de programas de televisión, a veces vienen, ¿no? Las reporteras.
No, vienen por ahí, no muy seguidos, pero sí vienen también.
Ajá. ¿Y cómo es la política aquí? ¿Es más demócrata, republicana, dividido?
Pues aquí en Iowa es
Republicano.
Ajá. Yo pregunto de aquí en Storm Lake. Estoy haciendo un pequeño reportaje, por eso preguntas.
Soy republicano.
¿Republicano? Sí. Hay mucha tensión, hay mucha división, especialmente ahora con lo que está pasando.
No mucho, está calmada la cosa.
¿Ahora está calmada? Ah, qué bien. Qué bien.
Cuando quiere, a veces donde quiere ya está cambiando. Ya, los republicanos ya están doblando la mano.
Ajá.
Ya están aguantando.
Ah.
Pues ya está más calmado.
¿Aquí los latinos viven calmados, tranquilos?
Sí.
¿Usted es el dueño?
Sí.
¿Cómo se llama usted?
Víctor Manuel Bautista.
Víctor, mucho gusto, soy Gabriel. Bueno, un placer.
Igualmente.
Ok, gracias, tenga un buen día.
For our final stop in downtown Storm Lake, we wanted some dessert.
These taffies are reminding me of California. Something you'd see at Fisherman's Wharf. Also, we got the bandanas too. These also remind me of something else in California. But yeah, this place has quite a selection of candies, as the name suggested. We got poop-shaped candy for those who like to eat poop. They got gummy eggs here. Pretty cool. Never seen those before. And chicken feet. Pretty cool. So I just spoke a little bit with this young girl who was working at the candy place. She was a young white girl, and she got a little uncomfortable in front of the camera, which I totally understand. But I basically just asked her, you know, what it was like being white here, and if there were any, you know, tensions between the whites and the non-whites. And she just kind of looked at me weird, and she was like, no. And yeah, based off of our experiences, you know, we were just at the Mexican restaurant, saw plenty of white people eating there. There was a table with some white guys and some Mexican guys, you know, hanging out together. So just based off everything we've seen and heard, it seems like there are no racial tensions at all here, which is pretty cool to find that in the middle of a Republican state. And I know the stereotypes is usually that, you know, these places are not always that accepting, but it seems like it's pretty accepting out here. No racial tensions.
After seeing downtown, we drove a short distance to check out Buena Vista University, a small private university here in Storm Lake. The school is named after the county, and pretty quickly, we saw why they call it Buena Vista.
So I'm sure you guys can hear the crazy wind. So I looked this up, and it turns out Storm Lake during the winter does freeze over entirely. This entire lake, which is pretty impressive. And apparently during the winter it's pretty popular here to go ice fishing, among other things, over the frozen lake. So yeah, that gives you an idea of how cold and brutal the Iowa winters are. And right now we are approaching this little park that is just next to Buena Vista University. Right here we've got the Ulysses S. Grant maple. So this little tree was named in our former president's honor. The Wright brothers walnut. The Chuck Yeager butternut. Chuck Yeager was the first person to fly faster than the speed of sound. Cool, I didn't know that. This one's a bigger tree. So it seems like every tree in this little park is named after somebody. Genevieve G. Nelson, 2021. This was made pretty recently. Little guy in the window. I like it.
That just about concluded our day in Storm Lake. This town was quite different from the rest. There were numerous indicators of a more developed economy, and I'm sure the lake makes a hefty contribution. The culmination of our time in Storm Lake meant that we had only one town left to visit. The final town of our journey was the biggest. With nearly 30,000 inhabitants, Marshalltown is one of Iowa's most significant meatpacking towns. Our exploration began with some of the coolest architecture of the entire trip.
Excuse me, you know what this building is?
It's the courthouse?
The courthouse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, guys, this is like, I think the nicest building we've seen on this whole road trip. Very nice courthouse here in Marshalltown.
It's in Spanish.
Is it? Guys, this is, I think, the most interesting restaurant I've ever seen. It says it's a Chinese restaurant, but they got sushi, so it looks like different kinds of Asian varieties. All right, so we just spoke to the woman inside. I didn't record it because the camera's about to die, so I'm trying to use it as little as possible right now. But yeah, she told us that this was the old bank. And she also told us that in 2018 there was a big tornado that actually damaged a lot of this exterior, and so that they actually recently rebuilt it to look as similar as it did before. But yeah, very interesting that the old historic bank got turned into a Chinese restaurant.
Downtown Marshalltown was a world of stark contrast. Attractive stores, vacant storefronts, economic instability, and an F3 tornado are a brutal combination. But like we had seen throughout the journey, the communities living here are extremely resilient. We also checked out a store called Villachuato, named after a town in Mexico where most of Marshalltown's immigrants come from. Here, we found some of the biggest conchas we had ever seen.
Look at the size of these conchas.
But there was one specific location that inspired me to visit Marshalltown. A restaurant called La Carreta.
We're at La Carreta, Mexican restaurant. In 2020, the owner of this restaurant, Alfonso Medina, made a brave decision and put out some signs out here in the front. And these signs upset a lot of people from the area who would come and eat here. So La Carreta faced a lot of backlash. And now, in response, Alfonso Medina took to social media to say that he did not mind the backlash. In fact, he was glad that these former customers were no longer interested in visiting his establishment. And so he took to social media to say, "No love, no tacos." And so that slogan that he put as a sign-off became emblematic for La Carreta. And many people took to social media supporting the stance of Medina. And as a result, "No love, no tacos" became bigger than just the restaurant slogan. And now today, we decided to pay it a visit and have some lunch here at La Carreta. And as you guys can see, I came appropriately dressed. So let's go check out the food, the Mexican food here at La Carreta. I did not know this was the case for small businesses. It's very unfortunate. Alright guys, here's my quesadilla plate. The food arrived very, very fast. Here's Rosie's. Looks like a couple tacos. Taco plate. Chips and salsa are pretty good.
This meal was not only the best meal of our journey, it would also be the last. As our time on the road was ending, we reminisced about the journey we went on, where we started, what we learned, the people we met, the things we saw. After everything, La Carreta left us with one final resounding message.
So as we near the end of our travels here in Iowa, what I've realized about these towns is that there isn't really anything to do other than work. That is all you can really do in these towns, and that is the whole purpose that they serve. These are working towns. There isn't really much entertainment out here, not many distractions. We noticed that we have not seen a single homeless person in any of these towns. Everyone here is working. For outsiders like us coming here, it's very easy, I think, to judge these places and say that they're boring, that there is nothing here. But what you have to realize is that towns like these, like Marshalltown, like West Liberty, like every town we've seen on this trip, these are the towns that essentially feed this country. You know, yes, they're not glamorous, they're not filled with distractions, tourist traps. There's none of that here. No glitz, no glamour, just hard work. So it's now June of 2026, and now that I've done the journey and the editing, my biggest takeaway from visiting these towns is that immigration is a complex issue. I'd like to start by saying that there were some elements of the towns that I wasn't able to capture. I think the main thing I wasn't able to capture was the strong presence of Eastern Africans in these towns. The reason for this diaspora is that meatpacking towns also grant asylum to a lot of refugees, offering them work. As a result, the diversity in these towns is absolutely insane. The Hispanic presence is the most prominent because, as you guys saw, these towns are majority Hispanic, but I also want to emphasize that they're not entirely Hispanic. There is a lot of diversity that, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get on camera. Now, the recent history of meatpacking plants indicates that immigrants are being exploited. However, there is a flip side to this reality. By living and working in these towns, immigrants and refugees have the opportunity to live better lives than what they previously had. And this also means better lives for their children. This is why the workers themselves speak positively about the work, because for them, there simply isn't another option. As long as the big companies thrive, everybody benefits. But at the same time, moving to a meatpacking town is a huge risk. If the town's main facility reduces operations, the entire local economy suffers. And the towns with more vacancy and abandonment have already experienced this. More and more, meatpacking plants are reducing human labor, replacing it with AI-guided robotic arms. On one hand, this can end the exploitation of immigrant workers. On the other hand, this can completely destroy these towns and lead to the deportation of thousands of migrants. This is where the issue of immigration gets complex. Because even though I don't want to see immigrant workers get exploited, these are people who have fled their homes and sacrificed everything just to work in these towns. They've left an imprint on rural Iowa that defies American stereotypes. Without the presence of immigrants, there really is nothing positive about these towns. Ultimately, my main question is, does immigration create more opportunities or more exploitation? I believe this question will be answered over time as more and more jobs are taken over by AI. But for the time being, America relies on immigrants, using a system that combines opportunity with exploitation.